Do you like filet mignons? Of course you do. They are the most tender steak in the entire cow. Now, I'm gonna show you how to break down this whole beef tenderloin and save a bunch of money in the process. I'm gonna share with you this close-up tutorial that I did for my Facebook group. So we have a Facebook group, it's called How to Save Money by Cutting Your Own Meat with the Butcher Wizard on Facebook. And we do these challenges, and I'm gonna show you close up how to break down this tenderloin and how to save a bunch of money. So we're gonna break down this entire beef tenderloin. So just a little orientation. So we have the thicker part, it's called the head. It goes down to the tail. So it starts out thicker, goes out thinner. This one in the middle, this prime space in the middle is called the Chateaubriand. It's right in the middle. It's where we get our beautiful, perfect steaks out of the middle. But I will show you how to break down the whole thing and get total usage out of this whole beef tenderloin. So let's head to it. All right, here we go. We're gonna start out our breakdown of our tenderloin. So we have it here. First thing we're gonna do is take any of this little sinew off, and this little fat we can get with our fingers. And we're gonna separate this meat called the chain. So this piece right here that hangs on the side is called the chain. Now it is a tougher cut of meat, so we wanna make sure we remove that. It's really easy to just kind of do it with your fingers and then help it along with your knife if you need to. So, again, it's really simple, but I'll show you what to do with this later, but it makes great grind. Put them in your hamburger meat, it makes great grind. So we're just gonna separate that with our knife to help it out and remove it. Next, we're going to remove this silver skin. So all this connective tissue here is silver skin. It is called elastin. It will never break down as long as you cook it, so it needs to be removed. So we're just going to take a second real quick and I'll show you how to remove it. You're going to take the tip of your knife and kind of wiggle it underneath the end of the silver skin, and that's going to create a little handle, and then we're going to come back across to get the rest of it. So wiggle it, wiggle it, wiggle it, put it in there, and you're going to cut it out and make a handle. Once you have your handle, you're going to apply backward pressure and then slide your knife that's slightly angled upward across and cut through that silver skin. It takes a little practice, but you'll get it. And we want to take off as little meat as possible. We'll go ahead and do it again. Go ahead, cut the ends off, make a handle. Here we'll do it again. Wiggle our knife under, cut out to make that handle, apply backward pressure to tension, and then slide your knife to cut that silver skin. Easy, easy. It takes a little bit of practice, but you'll get it. We'll just continue to do that for the rest of all the silver skin. All right, so now there's a little bit of silver skin that goes in between these two muscles. I like to make sure I get this big cut of meat, this big fillet at the top. So we're just gonna V-cut this silver skin out. You just go down one side, go down the other, making little tiny cuts, and then on either side of where the silver skin is kind of goes into this crevice. So then we're going to hit the other side. And when our two cuts meet in the middle, we know we've gotten all the silver skin. We'll just take our tip of our knife. We'll then take the tip of our knife and cut underneath it and then cut it all the way out, using that scooping motion all the way out. And that way we have kept that whole tenderloin intact so we can get a couple of big steaks out of the first cuts from our tenderloin. Next, we'll flip it over and just kind of look at the back, look at the underside, cut off any big chunks of fat. This is your choice. If you want to leave some of the big chunks of fat, please do so. If you want it more lean, you can cut that out. There's this piece of fat here where the two muscles connect. There's this little piece of fat right here in the middle and in between these two muscles, and you got to kind of get around it, get underneath it. V-cut that out. Clean up anything that doesn't need to be there, any sinew, any silver skin. Just kind of look around and just cut everything out that we don't want to eat. All right, so now we have our clean tenderloin. So now we're just going to cut it into steaks. So now this is completely up to you how you want to customize it. Small steaks, big steaks, however you want to do it. I will take this first little cut just to square it off. And then you just go ahead and start making steaks. Unless bigger cut, if you want like 2 fingers is a good way to go. And then as you get through that big portion, we can make them a little bigger. But then that's a good, 5-6 ounce steak right there, and it's beautiful. If you want a bigger one, so I like big steaks. So again, this is maybe more like a 9 or 10 ounce steak. You can make it as big as you want. When we get towards the middle of this tenderloin, these are the really pretty steaks. So want to make sure that we get the best ones out of that middle section. You can keep cutting those size steaks. If you want 3 fingers, you want a little bit bigger steak. This is completely up to you and how you want to customize it. And we're just going to keep going down the tenderloin until we get to the tail. Take another one. This is the easy part. Now we're just cutting steaks. Get one more. Then with this, as it gets super small, I want to show you this trick. So this is a steakhouse trick where you butterfly the last one so you can get a steak out of it. So we cut it a little bit bigger than what we need. And then you're going to cut down the center, but you're not going to go all the way through. You're going to cut like 3/4 of the way through and then fold it over into a steak. So again, make sure you utilize all the tenderloin. And we don't have a lot of waste, so we have this tail piece. It's great meat. It's good for skewers, shish kebabs kind of thing. If you want to, just whatever you would do with big chunks of filet. So it's delicious. So at this point, I'll go back through my grind pile just to pull out all the silver skin. We don't want to keep that. Throw that away. We'll pull the chain out and clean it up. You're just going to take all this fat and sinew off. There's some silver skin in there too, and we just go ahead, use that same technique we worked with earlier, but this time we're going to grind all this stuff up so you don't have to be so precise with it. Once we get most of that silver skin taken care of, we're just going to chop up into cubes and it's ready for the grinder. So here are all our steaks.